Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is smash that like button like it's your Alabama cousin, so it reaches a wider audience. And now on with the memes. Number one, here's an ignorant woman saying that socialism beats fascism. But who's the one that's going to tell her that they're pretty much the same thing? After all, fascism used to be called National Socialism. She of course wants socialism because she thinks socialist politicians will steal from the rich to give to her. Looks like she got a CCP-sponsored college education. Up next, this woman admits she made a false grape claim to put this innocent man in jail because he looked creepy. He didn't even do anything to her and he probably didn't even make eye contact. Soon going out in public as a man if you're not good looking enough could be dangerous for your freedom. I think that she should get whatever sentence that man would have received instead. Also, are you telling me that she doesn't actually look kind of creepy to you? Number 3, Britain is facing a new threat from a generation of young men in their bedrooms, according to Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister of the UK. So I guess that hiding in your house as a man to avoid false allegations of rape from a woman won't work either, because then the government will label you a terrorist. Hey moron, how about going after migrants and grooming gangs? Keir Starmer seems to hate his own people and country. Moving on, here's more insanity in the UK. You will be refused bail even if you watch riots in the UK from the sidelines. You will be locked up if you're just walking down the street and you see people going at it. These sorts of laws are more insane than what you read in the book 1984. Revolution is needed when you can be arrested for simply seeing something. How did the UK go from civilizing the world and spreading parliamentary democracy to tyranny? Number 5, in 1883, the body of a bear and Frank Devereaux were found next to each other. The man and the bear fought each other to the death. Dude ended a bear with his bare hands, no pun intended. Women want to die peacefully in their beds while men want to go out like Frank, battling a bear. May he rest in Valhalla all shiny and chrome. I guess this adds new meaning to the phrase you should have seen the other guy. Up next, this woman says she's just minding her business at the gym while men are looking at her. But I only see one guy looking and it looks like he's looking at the camera that's pointed at her, and you can definitely see fear in his eyes. Meanwhile, to me, that looks like one fat giner. This is all about manufacturing fake outrage. One question we should all be asking is, who's got a bigger bulge? Andrew Tate or that chick? I say the chick. Number 7, careful out there, crypto bros. The buzzards with boobs are circling trying to grab your gains for themselves. They love the money and not you. Once you get rich, the downside when it comes to dating is you'll never know if the women are interested in you or your money. The woman in this graphic is a fool because by the end of 2025, the Bitcoin bags will pump. And I'll bet you anything she comes back at that point after she's gone on a year-long chat-a-thon. Moving on, a new study says that women are twice as likely as men to be interrupted or spoken over. Is that because they say stupid things or because they try and monopolize conversations where they don't say anything significant because they're trying to use conversations with people as a form of free therapy? When a woman spews verbal diarrhea, as far as I'm concerned, she just wants people's attention and won't stop saying nonsensical things while she has it. If you stop listening and tune out, then she'll call you insensitive and selfish. You just can't win. Number 9, will the skank wars end us all? Bonnie Blue slams Lily Phillips and says she's jealous because she slept with 1,057 men in just 12 hours. Phillips was planning on smashing 1,000 men in just 24 hours. But Bonnie beat her to the punch. So now Phillips is going to go for the backdoor challenge to see how many guys can enter her poop chute in 24 hours. That's dedication because she'll probably have to wear a diaper for the rest of her life if she does it. Up next, Fetterman votes with the Republicans to make Pete Hegseth the Secretary of Defense, but that he still won't switch over and become a Republican. I'm predicting that it's going to happen at some point. When the Democrats' most sensible politician is one with brain damage from a stroke, you know your party is toast. But I'm guessing that the Democrats will throw him out long before he shows himself the door. Politicians should represent their constituents and not their party. Number 11, this woman says that the hardest part about co-parenting is when their boys are at the age where they actually want to stay with their father because he's their role model and can teach them things that she can't, but wishes that she could. Looks like she's going to be okay though because she's got the world's biggest huggy to soak up her tears. You know that she's probably going to become a dog mom next, and it's good her kids won't be home to see her taking the dog pill. Moving on, in 2013, this woman driver planned to pick up a friend 90 miles away, but a GPS error told her to drive 900 miles to Zagreb, Croatia. 2 days went by and her son reported her missing. This reminds me of those people that drive into a river because the road ends, but their GPS tells them to keep going. As for the woman driver, she's amusing, but I think we're all interested in learning how the media will blame this on men somehow. Number 13, why do overweight women like this have confidence today when they didn't have it 25 years ago? Is it because all the thirsty men on dating apps are boosting their egos? Is it because some men have realized that fat women are fun in bed? My final answer is that we stopped fat shaming. Once we did, they grew out their fupas like they were fanny pack accessory belts. Also, have you ever noticed that a woman that's 150 pounds now is considered petite? Up next, gaming is cooked if only 33% of people would say they would pay $100 for the new GTA. Of course, guys don't actually want to pay for a woke game. $100 in the United States is like 145 Canadian. So even less people in this country would actually want to pay for it. Most of us have a massive library of games to play, so why would we bother? In the end, this will be good for gaming because we will see the rise of indie game studios. Number 15, are any of us really surprised that Kamala blames her husband Doug Emhoff for her loss to Donald Trump? This is probably the most predictable thing ever, because women have an impossibly hard time taking accountability when things go wrong. You just know that she took him home and gave him a severe tongue lashing. It's her fault for being wooden, though. She also should have said no when the Democrats asked her to run on the tickets. That would have showed some courage. We all know why he cheated on her. Moving on, Tiffany Trump looks like Sydney Sweeney if you tried drawing her from memory. I'm just now hearing about her in general. I guess he doesn't parade her around with his other kids. Probably because she looks like a failed abortion attempt or something. But she's pregger, so now that's why she's got that puffy glow face. When I first saw her, I couldn't stop but laugh and think about that little bit skit from Rick and Morty. Number 17 is Shanti Davis, Jeffrey Epstein's victim, giving a back massage to Slick Willie back in 2002. Funny, with that smile on her face, she doesn't exactly look like a victim to me. She was probably thrilled to sit on Slick Willie later that evening. Remember that powerful men are an aphrodisiac for women. Plus, she's going on a private jet to a private island, and most would do almost anything for you without actually being asked for that experience. Up next, remember back in the 90s when Liv Taylor looked like this. I would definitely smash because she has the perfect face proportions that I like. Unfortunately, she was probably passed around by more rock stars than all the women on Epstein's island combined. And just for the record, this is what her father, Steven Tyler, looks like at the same time. Lucky for her, they look almost nothing alike. He was the lead singer of Aerosmith. Number 19, we all know that women said they would go on a sex strike if Trump won. Any word on how that worked out for them? I would imagine that it's over before it even began. Funny how that's the only bargaining chip that they have, using their sexuality as a weapon to get what they want. They showed their card and more men than ever realize that's their power now. I doubt that most of them even have much sexuality to use anymore. They used it up over the last 100 guys or so. Moving on, what went wrong between the men in the 1980s and the men in the 2020s? Looks like testosterone deficiency to me. They need to put down those scooters and start lifting weights. Is it the fault of single unmarried moms that don't provide an adequate enough role model to be active? In the 80s, we got to enjoy the film Scarface, but today all we're surrounded by are men with a soy face. It could also be that bullies aren't allowed to maintain balance in the world anymore. If I wasn't bullied, I never would have been lifting weights and I never would have got jacked. I'd probably just look like a soy boy on a scooter right now. Number 21, Emily says that you're a misogynist if you don't like Taylor Grift. Well, hello there, fellow misogynists. Sure, she has a handful of songs that were okay a decade and a half ago, but I don't understand why she's popular now, especially as her music quality and looks are fading. Whenever I think about her, all I can do is remember this creepy Chucky lookalike doll of her. She's pure nightmare fuel. Up next, this story is really sad. Sergeant Taylor here was severely injured, but his fiancée still married him. A year later, they were divorced. She looks scared and reluctant, and if she didn't marry him, just imagine how everyone would actually hate her. She married a man with no face to save face. She was in a no-win scenario, and 6 years later, he went and took his own life, probably because of the physical pain, and I'd imagine because he'd never be able to be in a relationship with another woman ever again. Number 23, there's me trying to enjoy life while sales tax, capital gains tax, income, property, and carbon taxes are attacking me. Might as well add tariffs to the mix, as well as inflation and runaway asset prices. Living life these days trying to get ahead is like playing a video game on the highest difficulty setting, especially in a place like Canada. Also, let's not forget the other troublemakers put in this mix. Moving on, all the people filming the elites at Davos have it wrong. They need to capture footage of the elites using working girls because apparently every year prostitutes gather in Davos, where demand for their services skyrockets. You know, the whores are really going to earn their money with these weirdos. If they weren't rich and powerful, then they would all be incels. I also wonder if the hoes come along on the private jets along with the globalists. Number 25, here's what happens when you're in the middle of a club and the mushrooms finally kick in. Or maybe you're sobering up from them and you see a single mother for what she really looks like. I know it's scary, but so many of them look like that underneath. This reminds me of the horrible episode of Star Trek Voyager, where Janeway and Paris turn into slugs and breed on some strange alien planet. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm, and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links below. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.